Hi, my name is Maureen and welcome to my channel MH Books. I am in the sitting room today and the budgies have been locked outside and they're a bit cross, so that's what the noise is if they start to make. There you go, that's them saying that's not fair, let me in, let me in. So maybe we make this quick. So welcome to my channel and welcome to a Friday Reads. Friday Reads comes watches, maybe. Yes, I think it's going to be a Friday Reads / watches. We'll start with the watches. So this week, I have to start off with the announcement that, it's not even an announcement, but the information that today is MND Awareness Day, which is Motor Neuron Disease Awareness Day. For those who get confused with the names of the diseases, motor neuron disease is the one that you would have done the Ice Bucket Challenge for a couple of years ago. ALS is part of the motor neuron disease group, and that would be Stephen Hawkins, who is obviously a famous author, so relates to books. I work for the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association. I didn't come just come for do that randomly, and because it is the announcement day, it is the awareness day. One of the things that happened this week in watches, which I would have loved to have watched, but I had another commitment, was our team of nurses, volunteers, and staff members at lots and lots and lots of dancing schools who did a 12-hour river dance, Irish dancing-a-thon outside of the Gaiety Theatre, where river dance is currently being shown, and was supported by the river dance dancers in the Gaiety Theatre in Dublin. There's a lovely picture for those who want to see. That's the river dance dancers with two of our nurses. So I would have loved to have seen that. Amazing stuff, but it was, you get torn with these things. One of my watchers, my occasional viewers, when she doesn't mind the fact that I just talk about books and it's a bit boring, was on the stage on Thursday night as well, you see. So this is where I had to go and see the Rogue of Bonog and the performance of one of my watchers, who was indeed very good and did not fluff up her lines and was a beautiful singer and dancer. We saw a lot of stuff this week. It was a very busy week, extremely stressful in work, extremely stressful in personal life, but we did get a lot done in the watching stakes, which is why this is Friday Reads / watches this week. On Tuesday, I was very privileged to have a friend who is connected with the Abbey Theatre in Dublin. So we've gone from the Gaiety to the Abbey. The Abbey is an important theatre historically, because it was part of the Gaelic revival, and that indirectly led to things like the 1916 rebellion, which led to independence of Ireland from the UK, which is also on the other side. We went to see a play, and I just have the little ticket, The Unmanageable Sisters. Sorry, I'll let you see the ticket if I'm just showing you something like that. I probably should just show a picture of The Unmanageable Sisters, which was a play set in Ballymun, principally about women's lives in Ireland, in Ballymun. Ballymun is an inner-city flat complex. It's a high-rise flat. It's the only high-rise ones that were in Dublin. They've gotten rid of them now. Where a lot of the working class people in Ireland lived, and this was set in the 1970s, female only cast, and it's about women's lives in the 1970s. It's a comedy. It's also very sad in parts because the lives weren't always that easy, and it's a play on the impact of the Catholic Church and things that would have been very predominant in Ireland in the 1970s, with people being shocked that a college student would stay that late in the library because she was a girl and she should have been home making the dinner for her younger siblings, because her mother obviously had 6 or 7 kids. So, and obviously her brother shouldn't have been doing it. Her brother was making the dinner for the rest of the kids, which was just disgraceful. If anybody gets a chance to see The Unmanageable Sisters, if you like things like Ruddy Doyle, you'll probably enjoy this. It was great. The other thing I got to watch, I have to show a picture for this one, was Yesterday, which is a movie by, I've forgotten his name, Notting Hill, oh gosh, I will remember his name and put it underneath. But it's principally what would happen if the Beatles, Woody's very cross, aren't they? What would happen? That's Sunshine, by the way. I can tell the different chirps. He just thinks it's disgraceful. He's been locked out of his room. What would happen if the Beatles no longer existed, but you remembered them? So it's basically about a singer-songwriter who's not doing too well in his career, and then there's a worldwide accident where there's a power cut, and he has a collision with a bus, but when he wakes up, nobody knows who the Beatles are, and he decides to re-release all their songs. Great for Beatles fans. Yeah, I can actually see the love of the Beatles all the way through this movie, and that the actor genuinely loves them. Yeah, so quite a lot of viewing and things happening this week. But this is book 2, so maybe I should talk about the books. This week I finished 2. We had the Stephen King read. I'm rereading Stephen King from the start, for those who don't know. 1 book a month. The reading group in Goodreads is on Pet Sematary this month. Pet Sematary is, for those who like horror, this is horror, and not all Stephen King's are horror. This is definitely horror. Oh, so when you sit in a new location, you don't know where. Yeah, that's probably better, is it? Who knows? You sit in a new location, you have to work out the lighting. Especially with this very bright light. We actually have some summer for once. Yeah, so it's a horror book. Not all Stephen King's are horror books. It's actually called Iconic Terror. These editions tell you what you should expect to find inside. Maybe that's a good idea for those people who don't want to start off in horror. 400 pages of dread in this one, building up to the inevitable conclusion. I think that's what I said in Goodreads, and that's the truth. You know what's going to happen from the beginning, especially if you read his introduction, okay? Because it's based on something that didn't happen but could have happened in his life. This is not for parents of young kids, because so it involves young kids. Yes, terror building up for 400 pages and the inevitable conclusion. Don't like this as much as, this is where people differ. People either like things like The Shining or this one. I actually think the ending of this one is a little bit abrupt for me. It's the inevitable end. There's no other way to end it, but it's just, yes, it just felt a little bit, because you have 400 pages of build up, it's a little bit abrupt. But it is still a 4-star rating. It is still a good, if you want a horror novel and you just don't happen to have a 2 or 3-year-old at the moment, because that might scare the shit out of you. Which is what horror novel's job is when you think about it. The other one that I finished reading, which I briefly talked about in my my TBR for the readathon, the Read in the Middle East readathon, got that name wrong, but never mind. The 4th in the series of MC Beaton's it's the Death of a Perfect Wife. It's Hamish Macbeth murder mysteries. These are, because I'm stressed, I read these, I'm starting to read these. I actually have another 20 of these books purchased. This is a library copy because I couldn't get this one. I have a rule now, I'm not paying more than a £5 for them. I'm getting a lot of them for €2.50, so between €2 and a £5, so I'm not paying anywhere near full price for these books. So I couldn't get this one for less than about £7 or £8, so I wasn't paying that much. They're actually quite short. And who dies is described in the title. So you have, and only about 200 pages, you have about 75 pages waiting for the person to die. But meanwhile, you're building up your list of suspects because you know who's going to die from the beginning because it's going to be the perfect wife. I love the names on them. It's Death of a Dentist. I mean, who doesn't want a dentist? Death of a Macho Man. Every time I see that, there's bookshops, they go, macho, macho man. I want to be a macho man, except he's going to die. These are fun. I like them because they're set in the Highlands of Scotland, and I used to live in Scotland, and yeah. They're simple descriptions of the scenery. There's nothing major in the description, but they're true descriptions. This is written in 1989, if I remember. There. Don't see here the original copyright. I think it's about 1989. It's 1988. They are a little bit dated for feminist reasons for these kind of things. I was a teenager in that year. I don't get my exact date of birth on the internet, but I do remember these years, and the attitudes are true to the time, so that doesn't irritate me, but they might irritate some people. And they're just fun. I don't think they're rocket science, but they give you a light read, and that's exactly what fit the ticket. I think this is my favourite so far. They get a little bit better as they go on, but that's only because you get to learn the characters. Hamish Macbeth is a policeman in the Highlands. He's tall with red hair, nothing like Robert Carlyle in the TV series. Robert Carlyle is quite short, and he's from Glasgow in the TV series, and they're a little bit more gritty, the TV series. These are very cozy. I'm on the floor. I didn't do that library. It wasn't me. That was some other buddy else who borrowed that book. But yeah, they're fun. I recommend them if you like cozy reads, and if you like Scotland. We're going to see what happens with Hamish and Priscilla, like the love interest. Will this work out? Who knows? We have 30 odd books in the series, so I own about 20 of them. Yay. And finishing up this week, and the other book which I have finished. Forgot I finished this. Huge book. This is because of Mr. Powers, Richard Powers, and the Overstory. I got very interested in non-fiction books about trees. These are the heritage trees of Ireland. All sorts of trees. There's the hungry tree, which is actually close to where I work. And MNDA is a hungry tree in this. I don't know, can I find it really quickly for you? Probably not. Oh, there it is. It's a hungry tree. Here, you see the hungry tree? It ate a bench. So they're trees, heritage trees around Ireland. So they're trees that have been listed for various reasons. It could be the biggest tree, girth-wise. There could be things like the hungry tree, who are just oddities. There could be trees that are important in history, trees that are important in story. Just trees that are worth preserving and knowing about. There's trees, at crossroads, dancing trees. The dancing beach in Twisted Swan at Rahu. There you go, it's a dancing tree. That's where the dances would have been held because, where there wasn't halls and you just needed it. There's a big tree and everybody needed to go to it. So there's trees that are, for various reasons. And it's really, 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 I find it interesting. I got the book in the library one day, so to stop myself buying books. But I like this so much, I've ordered it. So that one backfired, didn't it? It's because you can keep dipping in and out, dipping in and out of it. So really recommend that. So currently reading, which I'm hoping to finish tomorrow because I am doing the Middle East readathon. Carmen Marcus's How Saints Die. This is amazing literary fiction, I think. I would call it literary fiction about a young girl called Ellie and her daddy called Peter, and Ellie's mammy. And it is her mammy. Her mammy's Irish. This is set in England, but her mammy is Irish. Has gone away now. We know as adults that her mammy has had a mental breakdown and is in a care facility, you know, from Ellie's descriptions of visiting her. But Ellie doesn't quite understand what's happened, and she's getting it all, her life mixed up with the muddles of legends and things around where she lives. Her daddy Peter is a fisherman, and she's brought up with loads of legends of the sea and things around the sea. Really recommend it to people who like books about not really coming of age, but you know, the world through a child's perspective, and about legends, and that kind of thing. I'm halfway through. I think I put the cover, I put the Just Jacket on half upside down. So on page 134, the Just Jacket is upside down. Yes. And the other book I got it on Sunday because I was minding the actress, or actor, not supposed to say actress anymore, that we saw last night. And she went to a bookshop with me, and she recommended that I buy the book that I wanted to buy, so I did, because, you know, so we went to the Gooder bookshop and I bought this, because it's such convincing to buy a book. It's Melt Through a Bull. Samantha Schweblin, she is a South American author. Where is she from? Buenos Aires. She's in Berlin nowadays. I presume with Schweblin as her last name, she's married a German person. These stories are creepy. Not horror stories as such, just very disturbing. The blurb: brutal violence twisted into horrific, intensely experienced art. Yeah, there are arty stories, yes. They are very much on the literary fiction side. They're a fabulous eerie blend of the supernatural and all too real. That's the problem. That's exactly it. That was the Daily Mail. I don't read the Daily Mail, but that's exactly it. They're all too real. That's why they're so creepy. The first story, the problem with the ending just keeps staying with me, because I kind of think the problem is that it's probably true. I don't know how to explain these. I am going to be putting it down. I'm at 59 pages, so I'm about 5 stories in now. About, 15? I'm going to be putting them down while I do the Middle East readathon. That's why I picked a short story book. Yes, I haven't got to the end, so I'll get ratings at the end, but so far, mind blown. So, I am not going to do my books to read, which are there. There's just the date, because that's in the TBR video. This has gone to 17 minutes. I cannot stop talking still. I hope whatever you're reading, you're enjoying it. I'm going to be watching your Friday reads today. I understand that this probably won't be up until Saturday. The budgies are getting very cross. Yeah? No. See, he'll talk while I'll talk. Yeah. Because he wants to say, like, you know, you're talking away, but I'm not there. Yeah. And he's so cross. He's so cross, and we feel lock him out of the room. It's unbelievable. And I hope whatever you're reading, you're enjoying it. And until next time, probably happy Saturday by the time you see this. Bye now.